everybody. I'm Sean Hilton, owner of Comics Cube, founder of the Kokomo Con. Don't forget, the Kokomo Con is coming up Saturday, October 13th, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. You can get your tickets at Comics Cube in the heart of beautiful downtown Kokomo, or you can go online. Find us at KokomoCon.com. Today I'm joined by my good friend Michael Harrison, and we are filming this episode of GeekStorm at the most wondrous, splendiferous, exciting and wonderful toy store in the entire cosmos. Kokomo Toys and Collectibles, located at 111 East Sycamore, just down the street from my beloved Comics Cubed. Today, Mike, let's get right into it, my friend.
I have two questions for you.
One. Ask the second one first.
Is it true?
The second one first.
Oh, the second one first?
Always ask the second one first.
Don't have as much punch.
All right, ask the first one.
Number one, is it true all Mandalorians get in the Kokomo Con free?
No, that is not true.
Is it true all Mandalorians get a 10% discount at Kokomo Toys?
No, I don't think that's true either.
That's ridiculous. I've heard rumors that apparently are unfounded.
That's not, no. All members of the 501st who come in costume
Rebel Legion
to the
also?
Kokomo Con
Rebel Legion?
and the Rebel Legion get in for free if they are in costume or bring their costume to be placed on. And they get a ticket for a handler. We can say on a friend, an ally, but we think it's always good to cosplay in groups of two. That way you've always got somebody keeping an eye on your six. And I think that's an important thing to do. So, but not all Mandalorians are members of the 501st or the Rebel Legion.
Right, some of them are smart. Right.
So those are getting for free. And I'm not saying there aren't other wonderful organizations dedicated to the study of Mandalore.
There are.
But they have not reached out to the Kokomo Con, such as these other wonderful organizations, as the professional cosplay group, amateur, but still, to professional standards of the 501st and the Rebel Legion. So the Kokomo Con for 9 years now.
9 years.
Is happy to continue to have
a working relationship with
the Rebel Legion and the 501st.
Okay.
So we're also going to be joined by a great group from G.I. Joe fan club that raises money for Vests for Dogs.
Oh, that's nice.
Canine officers and stuff like that. So great group of people. Very happy to be involved in that. You know what hasn't happened to the Kokomo Con this year?
A nationwide text alert saying tickets are on sale?
That was supposed to happen at like 2:14 yesterday or something, but we were something happened.
Something else happened.
We were superseded.
The bandwidth was busy.
It was weird because we spent a lot of money on that. We were so excited because all of a sudden all the phones around us went off. We're like, and then it was no.
Yeah.
But we know what happened.
Well,
we were hacked by Russians.
Oh, Russian bots?
Russian hack bots they were trying
Russian hack bot Lady Gaga fan bots?
Yes.
Okay, now I'm with you.
They are doing their best to try and waylay the love and support that the Kokomo Con has received over these years. But in a more serious matter, because we're going to definitely talk about this.
Sure.
So it has now come out.
Yes.
In studies. I cannot state that study.
Okay.
But it's out there. You've heard about it. I've heard about it. The producers have heard about it.
Right.
It is believed through reliable sources, which I cannot name, that a Russian hack bot program is the reason why the last Star Wars movie, The Last Jedi received such scathing, horrible reviews and stirred up resentment amongst the fan base in an almost psychological study to see how quickly the fan base would turn on itself. Like
interesting.
Rabid mongrel animals tearing at each other's throats.
Right.
Like the dark side and the light side. A red, maybe purple lightsaber versus a rainbow color of lightsabers.
Sure.
There was a dark presence in the Force this day.
There was.
So have you heard it? I'm sure you have.
Yes. I haven't really dove into that as much because it kind of came out the same day or day before the Venom thing that we'll talk about. But sure, why not? I don't know why, but okay.
Do you give it any credibility? In your mind, is there a possibility that this is a real thing, or?
Oh, it's absolutely possible.
Yeah, is
I don't
it probable?
know. I don't know if it's probable or not. Dennis Miller said something. He said something a long time ago.
Yes, he did, because it's been that long since he's been relevant.
He's not dead.
Oh, I said that.
He got me. If your kid can be influenced by anything Gene Simmons has to say, he's got a problem anyway.
Yes.
Okay. So if if you're so on the edge or so malleable in your fandom that a couple dozen tweets are going to, 1,000 tweets are going to push you one way or the other, then you don't have that strong a feeling about it anyway. If this is true, and I don't think about it, if it's true, it's bad. Darn Russians. Another reason to go back and watch some Rambo movies, things like that. But
it was actually Vietnam.
Was it? Yeah, whatever. Weren't the Russians? Well, Russians, Afghanistan. That was
sure
that
at
was
some
a whole,
point. I'm sure. So,
Chuck Norris.
With that out there,
Sure.
that it's possible, you don't think it's necessarily probable, and that the base that would be affected by it is easily manipulated. But is that not true of what social media has done to all cultures? Not just the pop culture, but politics, cooking shows, reality shows. It doesn't really matter. Anything and everything. Don't you feel? I mean, you've got a young person that you're now raising again who is directly influenced by YouTube.
Oh yeah.
Super quick snippets.
Yes.
I've seen a couple of algorithms now that I've been kind of looking at to kind of figure YouTube stuff out a little bit. Only because it's weird because I'm not interested in doing YouTube, but I'm interested in how it works. As I get older, I get more and more interested in how things work. You've known that for a long time.
Sure.
I very easily 15 seconds and then, but I think that there's a good chance that people are being unduly influenced by these things, and that they're being primed. It's not just Star Wars. It's one thing after another after another, and leading up to the giant snowball effect of it. Started off as one little thing. So are people that easily malleable?
Oh, I think they are, because as a mob, you have the protection of a mob. So you are more likely to go. What are those? The fish, like krill or whatever, that just move like this, and
beautiful in those nature documentaries.
Sure they are. Here's my biggest problem: if the Russians came up with these robots, why don't they have them making toilet paper and bread and things like this? That because robots, that's hard to do. We don't have robots. Why? They're really more advanced than we knew.
We have a lot of robots.
We do?
Oh yeah.
Do they make? Oh,
they're vacuuming our rugs every morning. They're sweeping some stuff.
All I can think of Russian robot is, remember the Justice League International? There was a guy, although I think he was a guy in a suit, but he was like
Rocket Red?
Yes.
He was a guy in a suit.
Yeah.
He's kind of like an Iron Man.
That's all I think of when I think of Russian robots. Is that what it is?
Alrighty.
I missed it.
So with that then comes another controversy related to Venom, which is dropping tonight. Thursday night will be a preview night.
Correct.
It is receiving, the embargo is obviously off, and I say that because as I was skipping through YouTube today, there's been weird stuff about Venom, but no reviews. And then this morning, reviews everywhere.
It was 9 a.m. today.
Was it?
Yeah.
So 9 a.m. they went live.
Right.
And they have not been kind so far. But pre-ticket sales and all that are a fair projection of what a movie can be expected to make. And you were at, what, 80 million?
I was at 80.
Million?
I was at 80.
I was at 50. It appears in Price and Right rules, I'm probably going to win because the projections are at about 60.
Okay.
Not only are they at about 60, but the studio seems to be very happy with 60. And reports say that 60 for this weekend could be a new record. So I guess the first weekend of October is a pretty light month. You're not going into the holidays just yet, and it's typically some horror movies and things of that nature.
Right.
So 60 million. However, there has been a plot by a bunch of little monsters to unrail the Venom train.
Derail?
Unrail.
Okay.
You derail trains, I unrail trains. So, all right. So you're a big fan of Lady Gaga.
Okay.
I know you're very excited about going to see some movie.
Oh yeah,
she's in a movie this week.
We're gonna go see Star is Born,
and she is in it with Bradley Raccoon Cooper.
Bradley Cooper is in it, and
he's an evil trash panda.
Also directed.
Oh, he directed it?
Yes.
Oh, he used some of his Trash Panda money to go out and redo a movie that probably didn't need to be redone, I'm guessing.
It's one of Casey's favorite movies, the original, or not the original, but the one in the 76. There was actually a Clark Gable version, I didn't know, in the 50s of Star is Born.
It just won't stop being reborn.
Yes, well, it's born.
I wish it would.
I
mean, I've never seen it at all. I don't know.
I haven't seen either, and I'm going to try to watch it today because we're going to go see the new one tomorrow.
Well, why see it today? Why not just see this one so that way you're like, yeah, you're whatever it is.
I could.
It'll be all
I could do
new,
that too.
And then go back and compare it to the old one.
I might forget to watch it. I don't know.
I would forget to watch that. So
because I love my wife, and she says this is my favorite thing. I want to watch it. So she wants me to watch it, so I'm going to watch it. Much like if I ever recommended something to you, you might watch it.
Probably not.
Never.
I don't love you.
Okay, so
Long story. Wow. Maybe can you get segue?
Yeah, so that comes out, and I've actually watched several interviews with Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper. Yeah, when they're kind of like on the couch together, and it's got Sam Elliott in it, and
on the couch with them.
Yeah, it was like one of those Paley Fest type of deals where it was like the cast.
Okay, so not a devil's triangle. Okay. Well, I mean, because they might have been having a few drinks during the interview.
Let me take a drink.
You know. I think Bradley's probably sober. Why is that so funny?
I don't know.
I don't know that drinking during an interview is that big a deal when you're a celebrity.
It's not at all. Anyway.
Oh man, you're just boofing the hell out of this. Just get on with it.
Gosh. Oh. So I have no idea what to say now.
So a bunch of Lady Gaga's fans are taking to Twitter and Snappy Chats and face volumes to try and get fans to boycott.
That's the appearance.
Venom.
Again,
and go see Star Wars.
How do we know? Because the internet is magic. Computers are magic.
Is it like Xanadu?
I don't know how they work. Dude. How do we know this isn't Russians and or
Chinese?
Paraguayans.
Chinese.
Okay.
The Chinas are. This is.
Much like you said, testing the waters. How can we influence? What can we do? We'll pretend we're Lady Gaga fans, making the Venom go away. That type of thing. I saw some of the tweets, and they were word for word identical, but had different users, and each of the users was like very very short and made up. Like if you generate a name, this is what it is.
Gotcha.
And they were all like. Just left Venom. Can't believe I wasted my money on that. I'll be taking my wife to go see Lady Gaga in A Star Is Born tomorrow. And they all said that exact same thing. Not paraphrasing. They were all copy and pasted.
It was like Happy Comrade.
It didn't say Comrade. It didn't say Comrade.
Siberian Lover.
Yeah.
And Siberian Monster. And Siberian Orchestra.
And people say, when I say, I'll say. Probably not a huge crossover as far as the audience for those two movies go, but guys who go see Venom have girlfriends, have wives who would want to go see that, and I want to go see Star Wars Born because I like Bradley Cooper. I think he's great. I've never seen him in anything bad, and I like to see what he does directing also.
Here's a couple things.
Okay, go.
One. If this were some weird thing that's being set up by a government instead of just Lady Gaga fans that are desperate to get more eyes on something they love, doesn't make any sense because Venom isn't a cultural phenomenon. Star Wars, Harry Potter, these are cultural phenomenons. These are things that you want to attack to do a social experiment on to see how you can affect the zeitgeist of American pop culture. That I can believe that a government would be interested in seeing how to manipulate people because it's a large enough base. Venom doesn't have that base. The thought process behind Venom up until just recently with the announcement of it being PG-13 has been all over the place.
Right.
The reviews coming in about Venom pre all of this are ridiculously funny.
Unless the Venom Gaga experiment is to change minds, not just to push you against something like Star Wars because it doesn't have a competition.
Sure.
This experiment would be changing you from wanting to see Venom to wanting to see something else.
Ooh.
That's a different thing altogether.
It would be an incredible experiment if they can pull it off. I don't think they can. Secondly,
go.
And probably even more importantly in the actual realm of reality here is I never even heard that this was being redone until you mentioned it.
Oh, really?
I have seen one commercial, which I think was on a YouTube thing, after kind of looking for some stuff because it had been mentioned.
Right.
I've seen no advertising on television for this. I've seen no radio stuff. I've seen virtually no YouTube presence.
Right.
Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper, both pretty huge names.
Sure.
Nothing. This thing has been so far below my radar that I think if we went out on the streets and we did a poll, most people wouldn't know what Venom is. And if they did, they'd think it was a 5-hour energy drink.
Right.
2, if you told people what A Star Is Born is, they think it was a reality show. And 3, nobody knows either of these movies are coming out to an extent that it's ever going to matter.
Well, Venom has definitely been on TV much more and had much more of an advertising presence, but that's got to do with the fact that it's a blockbuster. They're throwing a ton of money at it, and they want to make a ton of money off of it now. Not that they don't want to make a ton of money on Star Wars Born, but that's definitely more of almost an indie thing. And by today's standards, it's almost like an indie movie. It's like we're not.
I'm curious how many theaters it's actually showing in. That's something you can look up.
It'll be in all the theaters. It'll be because it's Bradley Cooper's he's a draw. Lady Gaga certainly has plenty of fans. Whose name is Stephanie, by the way?
That's a lovely name.
On the couch. Huh. They referred to her as Stephanie.
Now is that her star name?
I don't know.
Is that her real name or is that her other name?
Probably her given name. I have no idea. I don't know her that well.
All right.
I would still call her Lady Gaga or
maybe Miss Gaga.
Miss Gaga
or Mrs. Gaga.
I don't know what's appropriate.
I don't know who Mr.
Apparently
Gaga
Stephanie.
is.
Stephanie. Yeah.
So I mean, honestly, I'm not excited about seeing either movie. I'll end up seeing Venom because Venom. You're right. Bradley Cooper does some good work, but I also find most of it's fairly forgettable. The last thing I saw him in was the fake baby movie. He was like a soldier and a rifle or something.
Oh, that was a good movie.
The big thing was the fake baby.
Yeah. I read about that.
I find that was okay.
I read about the story was that they had two babies lined up. One was just a brat and wouldn't shut up, and the other one was sick. And so the only option other than send everybody home for the day, which would cost $1 million, was fake baby.
Fake baby. So there you go. That's what's going on. So segue.
Oh, all right.
Unless did you want to add something? I don't want to cut you off, Mike. If you had something else, but I think we've beat that horse until we missed the watering hole by about a mile.
Only I'm not a friend. I'm not a huge fan of Rotten Tomatoes.
Okay.
But
I don't even like vegetables or salads much. I like meat.
When it comes to an extreme number, they're rarely wrong. I'm talking. There's two numbers.
Extreme number.
Yeah. If it's 50 or 60, that could be either way. That could be 20 points.
Like this is their good scale. Like 100 is good and 0 is bad.
Yes.
Okay.
But right now it's pretty in the dumps. It's
what?
Are you talking? It's in the 30s.
What? Star Wars Born? Venom?
No, Venom.
Life story?
Venom. Well, okay. No, I was talking about Rotten Tomatoes in general.
Okay, you don't like Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
But that had to be brought up by something. So you're saying Venom is getting really low scores?
Yes, and I read as of when I read them yesterday, there were 34 reviews from publications about Venom, and it was at 29 or 34% or something like that. Oh. And I read their reviews, and they were all very similar. They were all very make me think that those things they're talking about really are problems. So we'll see. I'm not in any hurry to see it. I might go see it in the afternoon maybe next week. But Casey wants to see it, so I don't know if she likes Tom Hardy.
She wants to see Venom? Oh.
They definitely said Tom Hardy is the only good thing about this entire movie, and that he's wasted in the movie.
Initial things I've heard is that it's actually kind of laugh out loud funny.
Yeah.
Without that being what it's supposed to be. Venom should not be funny. Venom should be a dark psychological.
Here's where I got worried. Is like 4 days ago, Tom Hardy came out and said, my favorite parts of the movie were cut out of the movie. So when you have the star kind of hedging his bet a little bit, that way 3 days from now, when you start reading these crappy reviews, oh yeah, Tom said the better part is on the cutting room floor. Maybe we'll get that later. Maybe we'll get the R, or the Blu-ray, or whatever. But he's at least shielding himself a little bit from that. But, okay, go ahead with your next segue to event.
Segue.
Sure.
So Netflix is my favorite thing. Mm-hmm. Netflix, man, it is the gift that keeps on giving, except when they don't give it to us. That's a different thing.
All right.
So first up, trailers dropped for the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina.
Oh, I didn't see it.
Have you've not
I saw
seen
it last week. I saw the one from a couple weeks ago. I saw. If there's a new one, I haven't seen it.
Maybe I just saw it a little late, but we haven't talked about it yet.
Yeah, we did.
It was pretty. Did we?
Yep.
Oh,
but go ahead.
It was really good. I liked it.
At the time, you hadn't seen it, so go ahead.
It was dark. It was spooky, but it was dark and spooky with a very comedic undertone going through it all. Now, I don't know, which one we're actually going to get, or if it is a really nice combination of the two and a meld that works. But it made me want to see it, so it did its job. Now, also coming out of Netflix news, I have a friend in New Zealand. And
you lost me. You have a friend, but go ahead with the rest of your story.
I have a friend in New Zealand. Hi, Andrew. Which I'm sure he does not watch this. But he reported that their Netflix is going to be getting the Teen Titans TV series.
Yes.
So
overseas Netflix is getting Teen Titans.
Man, overseas Netflix ended up getting Star Trek Discovery. Overseas is getting, I believe, not only new Teen Titans. I'm going to guess they're going to end up getting most of the stuff from that streaming service. And I'm going to tell you, as a paying customer, it makes it really, really hard to want to obey the rules, flat out the laws around this, because I know that my buddy is, for the same price, basically, getting material that I can't get through the same service that I'm already paying for. Yet, if I want CBS All Access and I want these are more streaming channels that I have to pay for.
Right.
And wow, does that? I mean, it's more of an editorial, but doesn't it just seems crappy?
It does, and I don't understand the business behind it. I don't understand why internet is international. I don't understand why it's different for them than it is for us. Why they get different content than us, but it's been going on for a while, and I don't know. I don't know what to say. It's too bad.
I mean, I think this is one of the reasons, and I have discussed this ad nauseum, but I think this is the reason you're seeing so much stuff like the Amazonian river Styx and your other cheating devices that allow you to, stream.
Yes.
And that sort of thing.
Yes.
It's hard to not want to hoist the Jolly Roger sometimes when you're seeing these kind of things.
I agree.
So I'm not saying it's right. As you know me well enough to know that several times I have been offered an opportunity to get in on something and have said no because I'm a bit of a goody two shoes when it comes to that sort of thing. Luckily, I have good friends that aren't, and they usually hook me up.
Right. And so wait a minute, it's the doing, not the watching. Yeah. Okay, I gotcha. I gotcha.
Yeah, we watched Supergirl 3 years ago before it came out or whatever it was at your place.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about
that. So good stuff.
In similar news, the DC Universe streaming service made an excellent.
Too.
Yeah, they made a what do you call it? They made a good choice. They made a nice move that cost them nothing, and then they've renewed Titans for season 2 already.
Oh wow!
And
which has not aired a single episode.
No, they did air the first 2 episodes at New York Comic Con, I guess yesterday or the day before, and. Now that's a captive audience of preaching the choir, but people liked it, and so we'll see. But like I said, it costs them nothing to say we like it so much. We DC who put it out and made it, we like it so much. We're gonna renew it for season 2. That doesn't have to happen. I mean, who knows? That channel might not exist next year. Who knows?
I feel they'll be around.
We'll see.
So. Some stuff coming out of Kokomocon. I wish more stuff was coming out of the Kokomocon, but that's going to be Saturday, October 13th.
Oh,
but out of New York Con, which is from San Diego to New York.
Sure.
San Diego kicks off all our summer type stuff. New York usually kicks off all the fall type stuff, and so they got different things. But honestly, I haven't heard comic-wise a lot of big news coming out of New York Con yet, which is us talking about no news, but the fact that there hasn't been any major craziness that I've heard about yet kind of strikes me as odd. That they usually have some pretty.
You mean like announcing stuff for next year?
Like big announcements, or we're switching this up. This is what's happening. And haven't really heard anything like that.
Well, maybe they're they've done so much switching up, so much rebooting, so much of that type of thing.
They're over enough.
They're going to take a break. They need a vacation. Who knows?
That'd be great.
Who knows? Speaking of Netflix.
I love Netflix.
Speaking of Netflix.
You know what? I get Netflix.
I like the Netflix. I wish I'd invested in Netflix.
Me too.
Rosie Perez was cast as Renee Montoya.
Yes.
She's 54 years old.
Wow.
I always imagine.
Yes.
I don't know anything about that character. Mike Dukes behind the camera just let us know that I think earlier today that they announced that Rosie Perez is going to be Renee Montoya on
Gotham?
No, in Birds of Prey movie.
Oh, Birds of Prey movie.
Which last week we haven't talked about it, but they cast Black Canary and Huntress. The only of those two, the only person I know is the girl who's going to be Huntress is from Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. Ramona Flowers, is that right? Okay.
Really?
She's going to be her.
Weird.
So I don't know anything about the Renee Montoya character. Is she not an older
Renee Montoya is probably 30s.
Is she Is she a hero? Is she?
She eventually becomes the female version of the Question.
Oh.
After DC just kind of got rid of the Steve Ditko version. They at least did. They kind of did a passing of the baton, but it was very weird. And because she'd never been involved in that sort of thing before, she's a Gotham detective, heavily involved with Jim Gordon type stuff, and she was an interesting character. She was well done. She was one of those real world, real people characters that actually had diversity built in a way that didn't feel weird. Just so happened they introduced a Hispanic female cop, and it worked, and eventually it came out she was also lesbian, but that came out even later. So the character grew in a way that felt organic I really, really like the Renee Montoya character. I really, really dislike the Renee Montoya question character.
Oh.
But that is flat out because I am a fanboy for Vic Sage, the original.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not even that he got taken out and she took his part. The way they did it it didn't feel right. And I think they even tried to go out of their way to make it feel right, and that felt forced on top of it. So it was just one of those deals where I'm a big fan of the original, and normally I'm okay with that sort of thing, but in this it just felt odd.
Gotcha.
Plus, again, Steve Ditko character, so nobody's immune. So that's interesting stuff, though. Good casting. We'll see how it goes. I mean, I'm actually a little more eager to see the Batwoman TV show. I haven't heard much about that, though, since initial casting.
Well, you probably won't because, she's going to make her appearance in the Arrowverse crossover, which will be in December. So you really won't hear a lot about it, I don't imagine, until ramping up for that, and also reaction after that to see if she catches or not. So
gotcha. I've heard that
her TV show is not a done deal. It's just a
Oh really? I thought that was a deal.
No, I don't believe so. I think it's just a
CW. I just assumed this was
now.
Go ahead. I heard that the one group of characters is being taken out of this year's Arrowverse.
The Legends aren't going to be are not going to be in the crossover.
So it'll just be Flash, Green Arrow, Batwoman, and Supergirl.
Maybe.
Interesting. No Black Lightning yet.
That's a lot now.
Still no connection.
No.
Interesting.
They've mentioned, Black Lightning has mentioned the cities, whatever they are, Star City and stuff like that, but that's about as much crossover as ever gotten so far. They just name checked them and that's it. But anyway, back to Netflix. So Jon Favreau has got a hold of a Star Wars property, and they're giving him $10 million per episode. That's Game of Thrones money for 10 episodes of a season of his show. And they announced yesterday or today what it's going to be. And it's going to be The Mandalorian.
Wow, on Netflix you say?
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Yes, on Netflix. What, no?
Be on the Disney Channel, dude.
It's going to be on the Disney Channel.
So
Unless you live across overseas. Then, of course, it'll probably be on...
We don't know about that.
Okay, it's going to be on the Disney Channel. I'm sorry.
So
I was trying to make a segue.
What just happened here?
I don't know. I had a brain fart.
You were wrong.
I've been wrong before.
That's what happened here.
Mark your calendar.
Mike was wrong.
Okay. 10/4/18.
Happens more often than elections anymore. So the guy who jump-started the Marvel Universe in a very real way is now getting a shot at doing a super budgeted version of television for Star Wars, and it will be Boba Fett.
Yes. Well, no. Not Boba Fett.
The average viewer doesn't know what a Mandalore is, so give him some insight, Star Wars boy.
The only Mandalorians that we actually know of that are canon in the Star Wars universe, the modern Disney Star Wars universe, is Boba Fett and Jango Fett. They're actually not Mandalorians.
I was gonna say I thought they weren't.
They just wear. I'm saying that's who they were of.
Okay.
They wear the Mandalorian armor.
Yes.
And that's it.
That Jango Fett, Boba Fett looking thing with the visor and the helmet, the backpack. It's got jets.
Yeah.
That's all Mando.
Yeah. So this series is going to be. All we know is it's between in the 30-year span between episode 6 and episode 7. And after the fall of the Empire, but before the rise of the First Order. And it's going to be a gunfighter. He's a gunfighter, and that's all we know.
Bounty hunter.
Yeah.
So the fans, the real fans of Star Wars, are going to love
the real
this
fans,
Mandalore thing.
The real fans are rabid.
The real fans are going to lose their minds with pure joy and ecstasy regarding everything Mandalore.
Yes.
Because this is going to give you a chance to have amazing action, adventure, politics, intrigue, struggle, backstabbing, all of the things that have made like the Game of Thrones so exciting and wonderful.
Probably a little less
sex?
No. Yes, but what's the
children being
incest?
Brother incest? That's the word I was looking for. I'm kind of glad that that's not on the tip of my tongue, but that's where I was going, and it would have been funny if I had said it in the first place. But yeah, less incest. 100% less incest is my
possibility of 100% more Obi-Wan during that time period.
Maybe.
In the Clone Wars, the cartoon, he's kind of got a thing for the leader of Mandalore, and at the time they're in kind of a civil war kind of thing. So that'd be really cool if they brought that up.
Now, I'm pretty sure Jon Favreau wrote and/or directed, what was the Daniel Craig movie that was a comic book, Alien, Cowboys vs. Aliens. Cowboys and Aliens. Aliens and Cowboys and Aliens. I think he directed that. I like that movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that really caused him to question your taste, because that was a really crappy movie.
Whatever.
That was bad.
You think it's bad, doesn't make it bad.
Well, I mean, the Russian hackbutts didn't have to tell me it was bad. I made that decision on my own.
Don't like this movie. That's comrade. That's what I think they are.
Gloss knob.
Why did they have to make robots to use a keyboard? Why didn't they do something, more convenient, more smaller?
I don't think the robots are using a keyboard.
Where is Lady Gaga?
Just a program.
Got a comrade. Comrade is the only word that I know.
Gloss, you gotta get Glasnost in there. I mean, honestly, Russia, I would think it would have been Chinese hack bots, but it's because they're already farming all our gold and all the virtual reality games.
Yeah, sure.
So, how often do you have to deal with them in world stuff?
Never.
Oh, are they gone now?
No, not gone, but you don't ever see them coming. No. When you see a level 1 mage walking through Stormwind, he's got no business in Stormwind, okay? He's there to hand a pile of gold to a guy who just sent him $150 cash American over to China. That's what that guy's doing, okay?
So
a level 1 mage has no business in Stormwind!
So why don't you just mug him?
You can't take things from other players.
This game is stupid. If I see a level 1 mage walking down Stormwind, I'm thinking, mugging that guy. And then /mug.
Okay, he needs to stay in Goldshire where he belongs.
Yeah.
Stormwind. Level 1. Are you kidding me right now? You know what I'm talking about.
No clue whatsoever.
That's what they do. They create a character real quick and transfer whatever they want to it, and then he walks into town and hands it to you.
Cool.
Who paid for it? Real money for digital gold.
Well, I did that once, but it was back with Star Wars Galaxies.
Oh yeah, I didn't know they did that back then.
We got started about 6 months after it got started, and we're way behind the ball. And it's one of those things. It's against the rules. It's wrong.
I think I borrowed like 1 million credits off you one time.
Well, where do you think that money came from?
Wait a minute.
Just like in
Blood
real
diamonds.
life, I was able to get some money, and then once I had the money, I figured out a way to invest it in the game the right way.
Right.
And so by the time it was all said and done, I was able to make all the money back I had.
So you're saying you lied about the initial $1 million loan you got, and
Yes.
it was actually gotten through ill-gotten gains.
Some Russians gave it to me.
I knew it.
They were helping me out.
Even then.
And yeah, absolutely. There's those things where I think we spent it, me and a buddy split it, and I think we spent $100 real dollars, $50 a piece. And people are like, oh wow, I can't believe you spent that kind of money on a video game. How much money do you spend on a video game anyway anymore?
Right.
You know, it's like that's ridiculous. To buy the enhanced version with a PVC statue and whatever, it was going to cost you $200 or $300. So we paid $40 for the game and another $50 a piece. That made the game open up in a way that made it much more enjoyable.
Well, I don't know anything about it.
Okay.
But if you were to buy gold on World of Warcraft, you would do it before an expansion. After an expansion, when all the players are coming back to get back into it, then prices go way up. You buy it beforehand.
That makes sense.
But also, here's something, and I know this isn't World of Warcraft TV, but they initiated something, I'm going to say probably 2 or 3 years ago, in which players can take the gold that they earn in the game and turn that into paying for playtime, because you pay $15 a month to play.
Oh yeah, I think I heard about this.
Yeah, so you can buy a WoW token with your gold, and let's say it's 100,000 gold. But you have to go out in the world and make 100,000 gold, which isn't all that hard. And then you turn that $100,000 gold in for a WoW token, and then you turn the WoW token over to Blizzard, and they give you another month's worth of play. So you technically can play for free.
So you can be an American-Chinese gold farmer.
Well, there are certainly people that make a lot of gold. One of the best things out right now costs 5 million gold.
Wow, that's a lot of gold.
It's a mount.
How many do you have?
Oh, me, I've got like 200,000. I don't have a lot.
I was talking about how many of the mounts.
Oh, I don't have any of those.
Oh,
no, I don't have any of those.
Playing the game right.
I've got 150 different mounts.
Sure you do.
But this one's unique in that it is it's huge and it carries vendors on it, so you don't have to go into town to do something.
Wow.
You don't have to go in.
It's a Walmart with legs.
It basically is, and they've had mounts like that in the past that do transmogrification or that will sell you stuff or that will repair your armor. This one also has an auction house on it, so you don't have to go into town to get auction stuff. If you're an engineer and have one of these, you don't ever have to go into a major town. Period.
That's great.
But 5 million gold.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you're an engineer, though, you can probably make enough to make that happen. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So, back to Venom a little bit. I saw a great meme today.
Did you?
There's that big line in the middle of the movie that's in all the previews about I'm going to, like, rip your throat out. I'm going to eat your guts. I'm going to do all this stuff. And the meme's with the guy, like, looking just really laid back. Up. No, you're not. You're PG-13.
That's funny. I like that.
I like that is great.
Yeah.
So good stuff.
We'll get an R-rated version of that movie, whether it's Blu-ray or whether they re-release it. People were talking about re-releasing
the good stuff that Tom Hardy left on the floor.
What's with the re-releasing of a PG-13 version of Deadpool 2?
All right, so according to Lauren, she's read up on this a little bit and gave it to me.
I wish she was here to talk about it.
So they're going to, come Christmas time, the holidays, they're going to put out Deadpool 2 as a PG-13 version. Okay. The idea being, if this is true, this is great. Deadpool will be reading the story to Fred Savage in a bed.
Right.
And every time they get to something that can't be put into the thing because it has to be PG-13, it will cut to him and Fred Savage doing the Princess Bride kind of shtick, but with him as an adult.
Okay.
So I won't lie, that sounds silly enough that I might actually go pay to see that.
Well, I read that. Okay, so Dark Phoenix got pushed back again, and so Fox had this date. And they didn't want to waste it, so that was part of the reason they.
Well, that and Deadpool just make all the money in the world.
Push that through.
That looks so bad. I finally saw the preview for that.
For which?
That Dark Phoenix thing.
Yeah, it does look bad.
It just. Sometimes you've just got to let it rot on the vine.
Yeah.
Let the animals have it. Just why?
Well, Fox, they're going to want to recoup as much loss as they can. So they got to be prepared for loss, though.
Yeah, that one's going to be bad. Just any word of New Mutants.
It's not started reshoots yet. They've talked about it, but I just read something 2 days ago about the director saying we have not started reshoots. So I don't know.
What is wrong with this world?
I don't know. World.
I don't know what.
Where are we at on time, Mike?
Oh, we're way past.
Oh.
My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die.